Gamercast Network.
Hey. All right. It's a video game show. It's a video game show. It's not a game show about videos. It's a video game show.
And welcome to the Gamercast Network video game show for Friday, March 30th, 2007. I'm Chad, and this week for the roll call, when I say your name, tell me your favorite video game kill. Frag, death, whatever.
Oh, I know this one. Let me go first. I have a favorite kill.
Bob.
We were having LAN party at Paladino's house. We were all playing Unreal Tournament. My guy's name was Aquaman, and I kept getting fragged by this same guy, his buddy Steve, over and over again. And so he's ripping on me, Aquaman this, Aquaman that, and he's coming around the corner. He's like, "Whoa, Aquaman's running for me. I don't think he's gonna stop me." He's got the flag. I drop my gun, pull out the chainsaw, and cleave his head off. He goes, "Oh damn!" And I grabbed the flag and scored a point.
Keith?
It'd be one of two things. Either the first time I was playing Grand Theft Auto 3 and I was driving on a motorcycle and I drove by a little old lady and I cut her head off with a katana. I just thought that was the coolest thing. Or probably the same LAN party that he's talking about. Chris's one buddy, Dan, was getting so pissed at me because he didn't even know it was me. He was just yelling about Skippy the Flea. Anytime I'm playing a shooter game, I call myself Skippy the Flea, and he was just like, "That damn flea keeps killing me," and it was funny. But I think the old lady and her head cut off was more memorable.
Ivan?
My favorite has always been in Mortal Kombat when you uppercut a guy in the lava river level, and the little guy in the background goes, "Toasty!" Yeah. No, nothing?
No,
Oh, wait, I do remember that guy.
Oh, I remember, but I just okay.
And mine was from those Star Wars games when you get the Force powers and can... This is a first-person shooter ones, like the Jedi Academy, when you get the Force powers of Force push and just start pushing stormtroopers off of cliffs.
Yeah, that is fun.
And in Gamercast Network community news, be sure to check out Gamertag Radio episode number 92 with a world-exclusive podcast interview with Chris Archer, the executive producer from Treyarch. Treyarch is developing Spider-Man 3 for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. Also, go check out Uncle Gamer Radio episode number 23, where they talk about the death of the third-party exclusive. And finally, go check out Podtacular TV episode number 9, where they give you a little instructional video on performing super jumps and certain glitches. And a couple quick announcements for the video game show. First, go check out our new website at www.videogameshow.org. Also, courtesy of our own MC Fragslot, we are giving away a copy of Crackdown for the Xbox 360. This version does include the Halo 3 multiplayer beta. For all the details, check out our website. And finally, let me just assure our listeners one more time that we are not switching to a video podcast. We are going to remain an audio podcast. It's just that every so often, every couple weeks, right before an episode goes out, we will release a small 2 or 3 minute video review.
Next topic.
So is everybody enjoying their Puzzle Quest addiction?
Oh, good lord, yes.
Yeah.
That stupid game, I have it right here. I could be playing it.
Yeah, it's horribly addictive.
It's just amazing how addictive Bejeweled is.
You add leveling to any game, and it makes it exponentially better.
So thanks, Chris. Thanks a lot.
Actually, I'd like to take credit for this game, because if you go and look at the forums, I was posting about this game before it even came out.
I don't read the forums.
I know.
It's one of those games where, you just say it's like a leveling game, and then until you actually play it, most people probably won't play it, because obviously I don't think there are that many copies out there. I had a hard time finding it.
Every week or 2 weeks or so, I look at like EB Games or something just to see what's coming out for the DS and for the 360. And so I was looking at the upcoming releases, and I saw Puzzle Quest, and I'm a big puzzle game fan on handheld. Thursday, I went and I asked the guy if he had it, and he's like, "No, but it shows up. It's supposed to be here today," and from UPS. And just as he said that, the UPS guy pulled in with one tiny little box that had 2 copies of Puzzle Quest. So,
oh, damn.
yeah, so first of all, I got very lucky, and second of all, I realized obviously they didn't anticipate this game being as popular as it was.
It does sadden me though that the Warlords games fail. I mean, it's like one of those good bad things, because the Warlords games basically failed, and those are like one of my favorite games ever.
They're awesome.
On the flip side, I'm kind of glad they failed because now they got to make the game.
I'm just amazed at how this is a hardcore game. It's just on the surface it looks just like Bejeweled, but once you start playing it, you have companions, mounts, dungeons.
Well, that's the thing. It's Bejeweled, but all those puzzle games, which are really fun, they can't hold your interest.
Especially Bejeweled, where it's literally just, move gems around to make 3 matches, and there's really no... How can you make it more difficult other than putting a time limit in it or doing something like that? So Keith's right. I mean, eventually you just get bored with it because it's just the same thing over and over.
But now you have spells.
Yeah, spell. That's great.
All of that stuff is awesome, but just the 2-player...
Yeah, the back and forth.
Switching back and forth on the same screen, even that's cool.
I haven't played much beyond the first couple levels here, but what is all this stuff with mounts and castles and dungeons and stuff?
You can, once you beat something 3 times, you can capture it, and the mounts give you bonuses to stuff. It's just an added skill at the bottom. You know how you have your 6 spells? Your mount will give you one at the bottom. For the rat, it was Rabid Bite or something. The castle is really cool. You have to build the castle before you can capture stuff. You need a dungeon to capture the creatures, and once you capture the creatures, you can do a clearing puzzle game. It's a different type of puzzle game. Instead of having to knock their health down, there's make no tiles left on the screen. So you have to move them so that you get rid of every single one. When you do that, you'll capture the guy. You can learn their skills. A mage tower, that's how you research the abilities. You need a dungeon to capture the creatures. You need a stable for the mount. You can level your mount up, but I don't know what it does.
Hardcore freaking puzzle game.
Yeah, I'm amazed.
You can get forges. Once you build a forge, you can run around to the ruins and collect little runes, and then you can make yourself equipment by combining the different runes.
Now, have either of you tried multiplayer?
I haven't had a chance to.
I haven't had a chance. I don't know anyone else with the game besides you guys, and I haven't seen you. I honestly would give it a 9.5 out of 10. 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10.
I would too, and the only reason I wouldn't give it, a perfect 10 is because there are some issues. It's locked up on me once or twice. The sound is kind of choppy. Really, the biggest problem I have with it is the AI just seems to, every once in a while, be stupid lucky or powerful.
Yeah.
It'll get 4 gem combos in a row.
They'll just drop over and over and hit you for 20 points of damage before, and you haven't even had a turn yet.
It's a game that definitely needs some advertisement, especially if it comes to Xbox Live.
Yeah, it'll be cool because the graphics will be a lot better.
And multiplayer over XBL will be very fun.
One of the things the DS suffers from is the fact that once the game's released, that's it. So they can't even go back and fix some of these bugs. If it's on Xbox Live, they can release updates to fix bugs when they find them.
They can release updates. Yeah. Also, they can release probably more classes, maybe a couple more classes, more spells, more quests, campaigns.
PC.
A PC, yes, PC.
Thanks, Tom.
Next topic.
So Microsoft has officially last Wednesday announced the Microsoft Elite Xbox 360. It's a black Xbox with a 120 gigabyte hard drive, an HDMI port, a wireless controller. It's going to be on sale end of April for $480.
A couple people at work who asked me about it. I said it's worth getting if you don't have a 360, but if you already have one, there's really no point.
Exactly. If you haven't bought one yet,
television, it's really not worth it.
Yeah, and especially since they're also releasing the hard drive as a add-on. To me, the hard drive is the biggest selling point.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I can't really see unless you use the video marketplace.
See, and I do. I have an entire season of Frisky Dingo, a bunch of other stuff.
Frisky Dingos.
Okay.
I actually have every Xbox Live Arcade demo too, so that when people come over, they can try them out and stuff like that. It's when you hit the video marketplace is when you're going to start filling it up. The black Xbox might look kind of cool, but for me, mine sits in the corner of my entertainment center. You never really even see it.
I know a lot of people do care about cosmetics. It could be mustard yellow like my computer, and it doesn't matter to me as long as it works.
The hard drive is the biggest thing. I'll probably buy the hard drive, even though it is kind of overpriced.
Yeah, 180 for 120 gigs. Yeah, and also they're going to give you a transfer cable to migrate your old data from your old hard drive.
I was going to say, if you haven't read, there's some controversy about that, too.
The controversy is, apparently a long time ago, Aaron Greenberg might have suggested, hey, if you want to use the video stuff and the gaming stuff, maybe you should buy two hard drives, two 20-gigabyte hard drives.
And if you want to watch a movie, swap out your game hard drive for your movie hard drive.
And apparently when you transfer the data from the 20-gigabyte to the 120, it erases the old 20-gigabyte drive. It blows away what was ever on the 120-gigabyte hard drive. So you can't migrate two hard drives onto one 120.
Why would they make it do that?
I don't know, because everything is tied to your gamer tag, too, so it's not like I could transfer everything to my bigger hard drive and then give my old hard drive to Chad for him to get all the stuff off of. Because the only way it would work is if he, reclaimed the gamer tag on his Xbox, and then he was not using his gamer tag anyway.
Do we care about Sony's take on all this? This is from David Cracker.
Of course it is.
He basically was saying it doesn't increase their market share by introducing the new SKU. They are graduating the existing Xbox 360 consumer up the scale, eventually eliminating the core consumer.
Well, and you know what? So as far as alienating the core system people, they're actually making out, because all the people who are going to either upgrade to an elite system, or people like me who are going to buy the bigger hard drive, I'm just going to sell my 20 gig on eBay. So now you can get a 20 gig hard drive off eBay for cheap for all the people selling them. Like we said, you're transferring all your data. You can't keep it on the 20 gig because it moves it. It doesn't copy it. You essentially have a useless 20 gig hard drive. So unless you give it to somebody you know who has a core system, you might as well sell it on eBay, which is, like I said, what I plan on doing.
Next topic.
By the way, this week, I'm having people on the forums post in a thread, which I'm occasionally checking. Right now, Liam the Lamb wants our takes on Mario and Sonic at the Olympics. So let me tell you about the story. At the 2008 Beijing Games, which is about a year and a half away, I think Sega and Nintendo are bringing out a couple DS and Wii games, which are going to be the first time they're going to have characters from the Super Mario universe interact with characters from the Sonic universe. Events that include races, table tennis, swimming.
Oh no, is that going to be like that time that Chris was in Florida, the same time Jack Thompson was there? They'll touch each other, a black hole will open and swallow us all?
From Shigeru Miyamoto, who is a general manager of Nintendo, Mario and Sonic have been respectful rivals since the early days of video games. Now that they have been given the perfect opportunity to meet at the Olympic Games, we may finally learn who is actually faster, Mario or Sonic.
Sonic? Duh.
Yeah,
I was going to say Sonic.
Yeah,
kind of known for
Speed.
Running and all,
And Mario,
Known
a
for
fat
mustaches
Italian plumber.
Yeah.
Unless he hits Sonic in the head with a a wrench at the start of the race, he's not gonna win. Just Nancy Kerrigan him.
Pink. Woo!
why?
Toad run by, whack Sonic in the knees.
Next topic.
So, how much do we love Sonic around here? We just talked about Sonic a little.
Ooh, are they going to reinvent Sonic?
Yes, they're going to reinvent Sonic because you know what? The 3D Sonic games have kind of sucked. So they're going to hold off on bringing out any more platformers for a while, apart from this Olympics game. And they're going to try and spend some time...
I smell a Sonic role-playing game coming
If it's an
out.
MMO, so help me God.
Sonic MMO. But you know what? Have any of you played the 3D Sonic games?
I have never really been a fan of Sonic.
I played Sonic on Sega Genesis, and that's the last time I touched it. It was awesome. The first Sonic, I just played it over and over.
I played the first one lots of times. The sequels are kind of... Sonic CD was actually very good, but the 3D versions, I played the first one for the Dreamcast. I never got into it. I tried the demo recently for the 360, the Secret Rings one. I wasn't impressed. It was just hard to control.
Yeah, I was going to say, Mary bought Sonic for the Wii, and, oh, God, the game, first of all, is not good at all, and then trying to control it with the Wiimote is painful. As an example, you make him run, and then there's like these flying things, and you have to jump up and then shoot forward to kind of headbutt them or something, I guess, to destroy them. And in order to do that with the Wiimote, you have to hold it sideways, tilt it forward to run forward, and then pull it back to jump up in the air, and then thrust it forward to jump. And it's
Perry, twirl, thrust.
Yeah, it's awful. It's not good at all.
Yeah, so now they're going to hold off on any new platformers for Sonic for a while, at least until they can get the mojo back, I guess.
So how are they reinventing him?
They haven't said. I think they're trying to figure out how they're going to reinvent him.
Oh, I thought they'd be like, we're going to hold off on the platformers because in the meantime, we're going to do, this sandbox game where he lives in San Andreas and runs around
Where Sonic gets
over
to beat up
gangsters.
hookers.
Yeah.
Where's my money, bitch?
Except it has to be faster, because...
Where's my money, bitch?
Yeah, there you go.
They should just go back to 2D. I
I was going to say, that's what ticks me off, is everyone, is abandoning 2D because it's not next-gen enough.
Oh, there are some really cool 2D, 3D combo kind of games coming out for I think the Wii's got one coming out, and there's one coming out for the PSP. And I think Super Mario, the new RPG one's going to have some kind of feature where it's 2D, and then you go into some zone where it twists into a 3D enmovement.
Ooh.
And then you can flip back. And there was another one Sega was doing for the PSP that's very similar to
I
it.
smell the vomit in my mouth already. Flipping back and forth from dimensions.
I smelled a vomit in my mouth. Oh, that's a pretty image.
Next topic.
So right now, I guess the U.S. State Department wants to get in on the whole Second Life thing.
Who keeps telling these people Second Life is something worthwhile? Sorry, I had to say that.
Well, they want to put their public diplomacy wing into Second Life so they can open up a communications channel with the Second Lifers.
To be filled with flying purple.
We don't make those kind of jokes, Bob.
It's not a joke. It's what's going to happen.
I know it's what's going to happen.
It's stating a fact.
Their goal is to get more and more people interested in the workings of government by reaching out to them.
With flying purple.
Damn it, Bob. This is why we can't have nice things.
It's always what happens. I hate that game.
And on top of them getting in there, the Coldwell bankers trying to open up a venue in Second Life.
What is with all the trying? It's it's not hard.
To do it in reality?
Yeah, is it? I mean...
Well, okay, Coldwell Banker here is a real estate brokerage firm, and they want to set up a place in Second Life to help with virtual real estate. And their goal really isn't to buy and sell in the virtual world. They're really promoting themselves in the real world.
Real world? What's that?
Yeah, it's the Second Life. People really don't care about the real world.
This sounds a lot like the internet bubble. What do I invest my money in so I can get a 500% return and then pulled out right at the last minute? I was like, everybody's putting all their money in Second Life. I was like, why? You do realize, 240,000 subscribers or whatever. Seriously, that's really not that many.
How many does World of Warcraft have?
8 million.
9 million?
More than some countries in the world. You figured they would try getting that marketplace a hell of a lot quicker than Second Life.
Talk about forcing in-game ads. Try Coca-Cola.
I think the appeal is that because it kind of translates, even though it's the virtual world, because you can buy and sell land in Second Life, and look, we buy and sell land in real life, so have Coldwell Banker be your online, offline realtor.
I mean, yeah, but again, I think that people are forgetting it's virtual. It's not real. I still don't understand the craze with that.
When you could be sitting at home playing Puzzle Quest.
Exactly.
Next topic.
Let's talk a little quick here about collector's editions of games. There's that game BioShock coming out in 5 or 6 months. It's an FPS role-playing kind of set in a steampunk, turn-of-the-century kind of weird motif.
So it's kind of Oblivion-like?
I think it's something like that, yeah. The publisher had no plans of releasing a collector's edition for the game, but I guess the community wanted one. They even started an online petition. And I guess the publisher said that if you get 5,000 signatures, we will give you a collector's edition of the game. So they got 5,000 signatures. Actually, they got 18,000 signatures.
Whoa, mackerel.
And now, apparently, the 2K is saying, okay, we're going to give you a collector's edition, which is going to include a soundtrack CD, some figure of a character, which is called the Big Daddy, which is a character in the game, a making of DVD, posters, nice packaging and whatnot. Here's the thing. How important to you guys are collector's editions of games?
Not at all.
I've never bought one.
If it's cheaper, then yes. Otherwise...
Yeah. If it's cheaper or the same price, I would buy one.
Because there was that whole to-do a while back of the Halo 3...
Oh, yeah. The
Legendary
edition,
which is going to have a miniature replica of the head, the helmet, the Spartan helmet that Master Chef wears.
Master Chef.
Was it the Swedish chef's hat?
I really don't care about the making of and the special videos, and about the only way I would ever buy a special edition is if it included extra maps. Or, if you buy the special edition, you get a unique skin that doesn't come with the regular version. Something like that would be about the only way to entice me.
Yeah, the Warcraft guys did a very good one when they did the World of Warcraft Collector's Edition, which was like a huge box. And in there, you got a code to get a pet a little devil or a dog or something you could walk around with. Those kind of things make sense.
The DVDs with the soundtrack and the making of and interviews with the developers and stuff, I could care less.
Just more crap to throw away.
Don't you remember the old days, like the Infocom games? It just came with all kinds of weird crap.
Yeah. There's a game called, what was it called? Wishbringer? And it came with a little glow-in-the-dark stone, because the whole point of the game was you hold this stone in your hand, and it gave you, like, essentially make a wish. Yeah, I remember those games. Good games.
Next topic.
Speaking of, like, 3D graphics, man, in my day, there's no such thing as graphics. It was all text.
Damn straight.
And we liked it.
Cannot pick up shard of broken glass. You cannot see a shard of broken glass. Damn it, you said there's broken glass right there.
You cannot see there's a piece of glass.
If you enter the darkness, you're likely to be eaten by a grue. Are you sure that you want to go into the darkness? Go into darkness. Are you positive you might get eaten by a grue? Go into darkness. You've been eaten by a grue.
I wonder what the kids would think if they actually went to play the old school MUDs, the text ones.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, think how people react to the original Nintendo games.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, those things look horrible. Blah, blah, blah. This doesn't even have pictures. It's reading. Most of these kids are illiterate.
Reading.
Next topic.
Okay, let's try this thing one more time. Remember a long time ago we tried fact or fictions. I give you a statement. You say, hey, it's fact, it's fiction. And we can all thank Nate Dogg on the forums for this. Okay, so here is a statement. You feel that if sponsors are going to start plastering your games with ads, then some of the cost should be knocked off of the final product. Fact or fiction?
Of course. Fact.
Fact.
If they're using the ads and they're making the money off of you, that should help mitigate some of the costs. Otherwise, that's just them being whores and trying to get more money, which, of course, it's a business. They're going to do that. But if they're making us have to watch those things, it should mitigate the costs, in my opinion.
Fiction. Enjoy Shrek the Third, the video game.
Touche,
Enjoy
Bob.
it. Enjoy it.
Touche.
If people don't complain now, what's to stop publishers from just keep doing it? And I mean, we have the ads in Crackdown. Nobody's really thrown up
I didn't even notice that.
some people don't even notice them.
All you have to do is not buy the games, but then you'd have to not buy the games, so you'll buy them, and they'll keep doing it. Just like movies. I still go to movies, even though their 20 minutes of commercials piss me off.
FYI, you can now call ahead and ask what time the movie is actually going to start.
You won't get a seat.
Yes. But I'm just saying, you can call ahead and, like, if it says 10:50, you can say, what time does the movie actually start? And they'll be like,
Quarter after.
yeah, 11:05 or 11:10 or whatever.
Okay, one other one we're going to try here. You believe that it is unacceptable for a console game to not have a full-length single-player feature to the game. And the reference here is basically Shadowrun, which I don't believe is going to have a full-fledged single-player portion of the game. The statement here is there should always be a single-player portion to a game.
Yeah, I don't think so. Sooner or later, Epic will release an Unreal Tournament game for the 360. It doesn't make sense to have a single-player version for a game like that, and the game is insanely fun without any kind of single-player experience. So I think it's...
Even if, say you don't have online capabilities and the only single-player
Then don't
stuff...
buy the game.
Well, it was only bots. It was only bots and stuff like that.
Oh, well, I still think that multiplayer only is okay.
Games like that, the market is for the multiplayer only. If you don't have the internet, I'm sorry, the game probably just isn't for you, and you should find a different game, because if a game's popular, you already know there's going to be 50,000 clones of it. So just find one that has a single-player game and play that one.
Right.
I agree with Ivan. Fiction.
I'll disagree, because it's not fun if everybody agrees, and say that,
try and come up with something.
that if you're going to charge the same price for a game, then it should be the same amount of value for whatever person is buying that game, if you're not going to let people return it. How's that? I don't know.
You added so many stipulations. If I'd purchase it on the vernal equinox by the fourth full moon.
I don't think that's a valid excuse, because whoever said that, it's the single-player game that drives the cost.
I mean, let's think about it. How many games have we played, and I know there's been many, where you played the game and you're just like, wow, that game looked like they just kind of slapped it together. But the multiplayer was really cool.
3.
Okay, here, I have a question for you guys. how many of us have played the single player game of Raven Shield?
I think I tried to play it once, and they were like, "You need to organize your team and plant explosives," and I was like, "This, I'm just gonna go online."
Next topic.
Let's go off topic here one more time with a comment from Kirby Dancer on the forums, or a question from the forums. Isn't pie superior to cake?
Pie is far superior to cake.
I have
Cake
to
is a
agree.
lowly and inedible form of substance that I do not partake in.
Because all cake, has the same substance. It's all cake-like. But how many different kinds of pie can you have?
Dude, you can make a pie out of meat.
Anything.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you can.
Dude,
Mincemeat pie. Chicken pot pie. Oh, good.
That, yes, pie is vastly
you can
superior
fill
to
a
cake.
pie with a like a chocolate custard. You can fill a pie with fresh fruit and berries. You can fill a pie with freshly killed venison.
Freshly killed venison.
Pies are far superior to cake.
Imagine,
broken wishes that never happen.
Huh? How about this? Venison cake. No, see, that's no good.
Never happened. I fill my pie with the defeated dreams of my life.
This pie smells like shattered dreams.
It's shattered dream pie. It's depressing. When you eat it and you just get depressed.
There you go, Kirby Dancer. There's your answer. And yes, Kirby Dancer will give a shout out to your girl, Dina.
I won't.
I will. There you go, Kirby Dancer. Okay, back to the show.
I'm too busy eating my pie of shattered dreams.
Next topic.
Okay, for those of us here who own a Wii, one last fact or fiction for you. After looking at the release dates for Nintendo Wii games for the rest of 2007, you are really disappointed with what you see.
Can I answer that in the form of
A question?
Haiku?
Sorry.
oh dear. I haven't even turned my Wii on in 2 months.
Oh my god, really?
It was a sound
after all
investment.
that effort?
I know. I haven't looked at the Wii schedule.
It's pretty thin. I think the only thing you're looking at maybe towards the end of this year, if at all, would be Metroid and Mario Galaxy, although Mario Galaxy is probably 2008.
Yeah, okay, so I guess, I'll answer yes, and the reason is because I'm fairly certain that Brawl is not coming out this year. So that's probably the next game I'll buy for the Wii.
You know what though? But I mean, I look at the Nintendo like I look at the GameCube. It's not going to be your primary console of choice.
Oh, and I
mean,
knew that. I bought.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, so people that are sitting there going, I'm really disappointed with this. Like, I want more. I want it. It's a Nintendo. I mean, it's there for groups. It's there for that kind of thing. So it's not going to be.
That's how we feel. I think there's a lot of people out there who disagree, who actually use it a lot more than
Well,
we
you know
do.
what? I offer those people a slice of shattered dream pie.
I agree.
That's all they're going to get out of it.
The Wii, to me, is exactly what I thought it would be. If you guys remember, I wanted it because originally because I was going to New York with some friends, and I thought it would be cool to take it up there so that we could all play. As a party console, that's exactly what I'm getting out of it, and I just haven't had people over to play it, so it just isn't used. So.
The other thing here, another story here, which was kind of relevant to all this, is that the Norwegian cruise lines are actually having Wiis in their party rooms now.
Which is perfect.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's a perfect place for it, a big party room.
Next topic.
Okay, so we'll have a little MS quote of the week here, Microsoft quote of the week, since we're on the Wii stuff again. This was from John Rodman, who is a group product manager for Xbox Platform and Xbox Live. Here's his thoughts on the Wii and the Wii customers. We don't feel like the Wii customer and the Xbox customer are the same thing. We think that as soon as the Wii customer turns 14, they want something else.
Ooh, burn!
Was this guy used to work at Sony or something?
I was gonna say.
Because seriously, that's like one of the most asinine. I mean, that's a Sony comment right there. Don't go there, Microsoft. Don't start walking that path of arrogance. I mean, that's just an arrogant statement, and we're all what 30ish.
Yeah.
And we were just saying how we all play Nintendo. So we grew up with Nintendo, not Microsoft. That's just a very Sony-like statement there. Yeah, that guy needs to be flogged. I wish
Very
they still had
disappointed.
floggings.
Next topic.
Apparently they're going to make a new Mortal Kombat movie.
Oi. Because the other ones were classic
dude,
cinema.
No, stop right there. Don't lie. If you're flipping channels and Mortal Kombat's on, that's like Conan, where even though you've seen it 50 times, you leave it on just because you're like,
Well, it
this
does
is
have the
entertaining.
guy from Highlander in it, and that's kind of cool.
Mortal Kombat 1, I would stop and watch. 2, I couldn't. Annihilation, I couldn't even get through the first 5 minutes without it. And I watch bad films.
That's when they changed Raiden to Ajax from the Warriors.
I'll give you that the first one was okay. I will watch it. It's still not a good movie.
No.
No, it's not a
necessarily.
good movie by any means.
But my point is, it doesn't necessarily warrant that more games or more movies should be made.
Agreed.
The thing here is that the proposed new film won't be a prequel or a sequel, but a reboot of the franchise, a la the Casino Royale and the Batman Begins films, a reimagining of the...
Stop restarting everything. Granted, Batman needed
I was
a
going to say,
reset.
that was probably one of the best things that ever happened to Batman. What are you talking about?
Bond is a pimp, by the way. Just throwing that out there. That dude gets more than any person alive or imagined that I know. Someone hates him 1 minute and then he's f***ing him the next. And I don't know how he does it.
Like Sony.
Yeah.
Next topic.
And one final check of our forum posters posting in the forums. I guess our forum member, Brigo, is now a father.
Oh,
Go
congratulations. He just got
Hooray.
married recently, too.
And now we know why.
I was just gonna say,
Congratulations,
you
man.
did the right thing,
Yeah,
buddy.
seriously. Congrats, Brigo.
And finally, Kirby Dancer asks, what are we playing? And I guess obviously
Puzzle
the answer
Quest!
is Puzzle Quest.
Have you heard about this game called Puzzle Quest? Because I downloaded this demo.
I have a spider mount.
And there you have it, Video Game Show, episode number 31 for Friday, March 30th, 2007. Any ham sandwiches beyond to the guys who made Puzzle Quest? Yes.
Brigo. He gets a ham
Yeah,
sandwich.
Brigo gets a
Congratulations, man.
double meat ham sandwich.
You,
gets a
you
ham
got
pie.
your hands full now. I hoped all those nice things you had, get your loving in with them now because they're going to be broken within the next couple years.
At the very least, sticky with.
I was just
kid
going to say
filth.
broken and sticky.
Okay, there you go, everybody. Good night.
I was actually the cause of MUDs for the most part at John Carroll, at least during while we were there, because a friend of mine had told me about it, and I started playing it, and I got my friends to play it, and then it just
Chris,
ballooned from there.
you're a good person. People like you. You don't have to keep trying to get all this clout. You're telling us
no, I'm
you
not
started
saying clout.
you started Puzzle Quest.
I
you
did start
started
Puzzle
mudding at
Quest.
John Carroll.
That's two things. What's all this stuff?
That's a lot of stuff.
We've only talked about, like,
you,
5 things.
You were the cause of mudding?
Not mudding.
It's
It's
all
John
right, Al.
Carroll.
Okay, Gore.
Yeah.
Go create the internet.
I did.